In this series, we're going to take a look at SolidUI. So, SolidUI is a port of Shad UI, Shad CN UI, which is a brilliant React component library. And this port into Solid has taken all the best bits. It's absolutely brilliant. It's easy to use. You only need to use the components that or you only import the components that you need to use for your application. So I really recommend, even if you're building your own component library, that you use these as the basic components. So they're fully customizable and there's lots of components. So I'm thinking of doing a course on the how to link up with UX and how you would create a design system and then create your own component library using design tokens. So we'll take a look at that sometime in the future. That's a course that I'm just planning out at the moment. But for now, we'll just look at this because this component library is really, really good, and it's a good thing to use as the base for any project, depending on whether you customize it quite significantly or just use certain components. But yeah, really, really good. So solidui.com. So let's get started. So the installation, again, we're going to do a course on Solid Start. I'm planning that out as well, but I haven't got around to doing it as yet. So, but for this one, we're going to just use Vite because I'm comfortable with that, and we can just get straight in and look at the components without thinking about Solid Start. We can do a full course on Solid Start later. So let's open a terminal. Let's cd. Let's get all the way out. There we are. Okay, so let's start again. So let's create a Vite project. So we'll call this Solid HR. It's just we're going to use Solid. We're going to use TypeScript. And there we are. So cd into Solid HR, and I prefer Yarn, so let's use Yarn. So as that's installing, let's look at what we're going to do now. So we are going to install Tailwind CSS. Let's do that. So yarn add, and then we'll initialize our Tailwind CSS. Okay, so that's created as these two files. So I think now what we need to do is we need to open this up in VS Code. And here we are. So let's look at what we've got so far. We've got a Vite config. We're not really interested in that. We've got a Tailwind config. This is where we can extend our themes. We're not really going to be looking into that. Got our tsconfig file, which is just for our TypeScript stuff. We've got an index HTML. So let's keep going. So in our ts.json config JSON file, we need to add base URL, and that's under compiler options. So tsconfig, compiler options, go to the bottom, we'll add that there. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna import path, but it says you can import path. So you can import path without error. We need to add the types for node to our project. So let's open up a terminal. Yarn add. Let's add those. Great stuff. And then this is just our Vite config. So let's, where's it gone? There it is. So Vite config, just override it with that. It's got the same stuff in anyway. Okay, so run SolidUI CLI. Okay, so this initializes the project as a SolidUI project, and this gives us access to all the great stuff from SolidUI. So let's copy this command and see what happens. Okay, so it's asking us for a few more questions. So would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. Global CSS file, source.app.css, yeah, that's right. We want that to be a JS file. Configure the import alias. Now I know that ShadUN uses that. But we'll keep with the default. Let's do that. Would you like to install dependencies? Yes. How would you like to install them? With Yarn? Yep. So that's great. So that's installed. Now what I'm going to do, just while we're at it, I'm gonna use this font. So I'm gonna copy this code. This is just a font from Google called Work Sans that I quite like. So I'm just gonna add it in to the project. So with Vite, we got an index HTML, so it's pretty easy just to copy that into there. Okay. And then yeah, so we want to just add our font family in here and font style. So we'll copy those. Let's go into our source, and in here we've got a font family there. Get rid of the weight. Okay, see if there's anything in here that we want to get rid of. We don't need those. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I suppose min width is fine. Okay. That's all right. We'll leave those. So we'll save that. Okay. So let's go into our app and let's get rid of everything in there. Oh, we'll keep a div because we always need one. Let's put that in there. Let's add a H1. Let's give it a class. And let's call it the SolidUI HR app. So this is just going to be our H1, so we'll give it a text style of extra large and a font of bold. And then under here we'll add this is our app, and then we'll just add a class on here, and we'll give it padding. Where's my little helpers? Padding 4. Okay. Get rid of those. Tidy that up. So I think now if we yarn dev, go to here. There we are. SolidUI HR app. This is our app. So let's just review quickly what we've done. We've installed all our dependencies. We've initialized our SolidUI app, and we've got it up and running. We've added a few Tailwind classes onto here to give us our basics, and that's it. So in the next lesson we'll look at using some components out of SolidUI and creating the app.